Hey, I'm back again. I know. You didn't expect to see me here. But guess what? I'm back. I didn't know what I wanted to do with YouTube. I still kind of don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what I want this channel to be. I don't know if I wanted to just be a general talk channel or what I want to do with it. I haven't really decided yet, to be honest. It it seems like something that, you know, I don't know. I'm a streamer, right? I don't really do a whole lot of like recorded content because of the scripted nature of it. I'm more of an on the spot kind of person, right? Like on the spot, I can come up with things on the fly to talk about and just blah 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 yada yada. You know what I mean? But it's different when you're alive, when you're a recorded content creator. You have to have it ultra scripted and edited and polished and all this stuff. I still haven't figured out what I want to do with it either. Like, what genre do I want to go into? YouTube is a maze of navigating what you want to do. What kind of content do you want to make? Do you want to do variety stuff? Is there even a variety content creator type on YouTube, or does that stuff just fail immediately because you don't fit nice and neatly into a little niche? I don't know. Um, so I'm kind of just here. You know, I kind of want to do YouTube on the side, and I don't just want it to be a repository for my past Twitch streams, because I'm a Twitch streamer. I will admit it's my main thing. It's my main thing. But I want to branch out a little bit. I want to get into a little bit of video creation. But, it's tough to figure out your niche. What void do you fill? What category? What niche do you appeal to? Do you cater to? It's all, very confusing. I don't think that I would want to be a tech channel. Um, I don't think that I would want to be drama channel. I certainly don't want that shit. I'm not Keemstar over here. Let's get right into the news. Whatever. Like, uh, I don't want to do that. I would rather, like, I don't know. I'm thinking like a variety content creator over here, but maybe just general talk, something like that. I don't know. Um, it's kind of one of those things. So I'm finding my way through this maze of YouTube and figuring out what I want to do with it. I could talk about my interests, like VR and all that, or I could talk about how I went from one extreme to the other in a matter of like 10, 20 years. you know, um, it's crazy. I've been on the internet for a long time, ever since I was a teenager, actually. So I've known about YouTube since it has existed. I've been here since I've I've seen YouTube since the beginning. I haven't been on the platform since the beginning. I don't think I made my YouTube account until, oh god, 2010? I would think. I mean, it was still early on into YouTube's lifespan. I mean, YouTube was created in what, 2005, 2006? It's old as sin. I remember when YouTube first came out. It's funny because I do remember when it first came out. It's just a bunch of jackasses, going in front of a camera trying to do stupid things just for fun, for funsies, like making silly voices or, like Fred. Fred used to be one of the biggest things on YouTube, and all he did was, use the helium voice and say a bunch of silly things in front of a camera. That was YouTube in its early inception because, the economy was much different on YouTube back then. It was it was an attention economy rather than a money economy. These days, it's all about monetization. Oh my god, how can I monetize? Blah, blah, blah. How can I, keep them sweet advertiser dollary dues flowing into my pocket? How can I get thousands of subscribers and this and that and the other thing? And it's crazy to me how we went from silly videos where you hold the camera real close to your face, make a funny voice, and you get thousands or even hundreds of thousands of views. I've watched YouTube evolve over the years. I've seen all the trends. I've seen all the little things that popped up and became popular, and I've seen the controversies. Uh, I've seen it all. I mean, like I said, I didn't have a YouTube account in 2006 or 5 when it came out. But or 4 even, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but YouTube's pretty old. It's pretty old. Um, but I remember watching it evolve because I was in high school whenever YouTube came out. And I remember seeing it. I remember, watching it from school computers and just, it was interesting back then. It was interesting to see. I remember all of it. I remember going from Fred to PewDiePie. I remember, God, the beginning. Everyone hated PewDiePie. But now, years and years later, people started coming around and liking the guy, and now he's hated again or loved, depending on which audience you ask. And a lot has happened over the years. I've seen a lot of different just trends pop up and people chasing the dollar, people chasing the revenue. But I remember back in the day, it was much simpler. You were chasing the analytics, the attention. It was an attention economy. You did the most outlandish stuff. I remember early on in YouTube's inception, they were, doing crazy shit, like imitating Jackass, stuff like that. And it was funny because, nobody, like, cared. Everyone was just trying to get attention, trying to get that 5-star rating or whatever. Because back in the early days of YouTube, you were looking for ratings. I've been around this internet for a very long time. Like I said, I was a teenager. Now I'm like in my late 30s. So it's been a good 20 plus years. I've seen YouTube and known about it for over 2 decades now. But it's different now, of course, because kids grew up with this shit in their hands, I lived in the pre-smartphone era, where, you didn't edit. You didn't do any of that shit. Nobody did that. You just, would flip open your laptop and record a video on your shitty webcam, right? That was, or if you had a desktop, you would record a video on your shitty desktop webcam, whatever, It was just like that. We didn't have really like iPhones back then. And I mean, I guess you could record on a BlackBerry, but it wasn't the same. You couldn't really upload it directly to YouTube. Um, People back then, though, used to use like actual camcorders, and they would record stuff and then, upload it to their computer, their PC, and just post it, right? Back in those days. Sometimes it just depended what you had at your disposal, because it didn't matter. Even if you had a shitty webcam laptop video that you recorded on your shitty laptop webcam, people would enjoy it. It wasn't about the quality back then. Now everyone is obsessed with, oh, I gotta edit this and I gotta script it, and it's just so inorganic. Because people just aren't having fun with it. I mean, I suppose you could have fun with a scripted video, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just not the same. Because back then, you were looking to grab people's attention, not ad revenue, not, sponsors. I don't know. YouTube has become different ever since Google bought it and made it all about money. And it's kind of a shame that they did so. So, I don't know. Has it been better for YouTube? I mean, ever since the adpocalypse, I don't think so. Creators kind of have to support themselves elsewhere, like Patreon or whatever. God, speaking of the apocalypse, let's rewind. Let's talk about the history of YouTube. When it was first, created, it was all about the broadcaster. And, people were just getting on it, making fun videos. None of the OGs are around anymore. Maybe a handful of the OG YouTubers are around, but, Fred, God, nobody's even heard of him. I think he might have even deleted his channel. I mean, it was an interesting time for sure. People were just making videos for fun and uploading it for attention. And, it's kind of like social media is today. I think the thing that happened was social media kind of replaced it as something to just upload stuff for fun, whatever, just dumb little things. It seems like Twitter and all the other social media platforms are that now. But YouTube started out just about having fun, uploading videos, getting views, and, you were looking for attention back then. It wasn't about money, because it had nothing to do with money, because YouTube was a blossoming platform. It was brand new. But around the time Google bought it, which I don't even know when, maybe 2000, maybe 2010. I'm not sure. I can't remember when Google acquired YouTube, but they started monetizing it. So people started getting in on the Google Partner Program, the Google whatever, um, and getting ads on their videos and, you know, making money from that. And all of a sudden it became about money. And, I mean, people were still talking about stuff they were interested in, and I'm sure they had fun with it. But it was different. The climate had kind of shifted by 2010. That's when I created my YouTube. I think somewhere around there, 2009, 2010. I created my YouTube, and I've been around for over a decade, almost a decade and a half now. Crazy how time flies. But around 2010, it started to shift a little bit. And slowly but surely, one thing I remember seeing was the rise of Let's Plays. I saw Game Grumps take off, and I remember that. It was interesting because at first, Let's Plays or game commentaries, whatever, were kind of a new thing. Prank channels, oh god, the prank channels, ugh. Some of the most insufferable people came from those. And, commentary channels, oh god, man, I remember when commentary channels became a thing. I had thought about becoming a commentary channel, but not one of the drama-related ones, and just kind of commenting on general things. But I don't know. I don't know that I want to be that channel. I'm just kind of finding my way on this platform. I've been here forever, but I've never really created videos. I uploaded some animations I did from college. And, because I was an animation student, I'm now an animation graduate of almost 10 years. Oh, God. But it's different for everyone. And it just kind of has a different feel to it. I saw the rise of the atheist channels. Oh, God. Back in like 2011, 2012, I remember the whole atheist commentary channels, the fedora wearing neckbeard bros who, were like, God's not real and this is why. Like, those kind of channels. The ones. I don't really have much of an opinion on that as an agnostic, so I'm just like, whatever. I don't care what people believe, like, long as you're not a dick about it, whatever. But, it made, atheists look really bad for a bit. Now, like, I understood some of the channels. Some of the channels were a little more down to earth about it, and they were kind of like, hey, there's this religious nut making this crazy video about how you need to accept Jesus, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. And they were kind of like, fighting back against that. And that I can understand. That I'm like, okay, makes sense. There's a lot of crazy stuff you see on YouTube. Just crazy stuff. I mean, it's a massive, massive platform. You know, I remember, oh god, the cringy stuff when, you know, oh god, now we're getting into the crazy shit on YouTube, right? Like, the whole Gamergate thing, right? Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, we're talking about that. I mean, it's a big part of YouTube's history. There was a whole genre of videos shitting on social justice warriors. I remember it. I'm sure some of you do too. I'm sure you remember those days. Oh god. I'd like to forget those days ever existed because they were cringe as fuck. Like, don't get me wrong. Were some people completely out of their minds, batshit insane with the, you know, like, social justice issues? Yeah, some people kind of went over the top. But, like, you know, oftentimes the channels that criticized them for this were just as cringy because they were trying to put on, you know, a suit and tie and be like, "Oh, I'm not like that." I mean, you kind of are. You're kind of pretending that you're this like intellectual and you're judging those beneath you and oh my god, look how stupid this person is. They don't believe what I believe. They must be an idiot. When you failed to realize that no, that's not quite it's not quite that cut and dry. And you're not an intellectual, buddy. Like a lot of these people liked to pretend they were like, I'm a scientist. Okay. Cool and all, I guess. But like who cares? And some of them weren't even like professionals. They were just like some dude sat in his basement, you know, bitching about those SJWs are ruining comics and video games and blah, Spider-Man. Why is there a black Spider-Man? You know, like raging about things that didn't matter. I mean, there's still those channels today, unfortunately. You know, too bad they didn't go the way of the dinosaur and go extinct. That genre. It's cringe as fuck, man. It's cringe as fuck. You know, oh god, I remember when nerd culture took off. Like, you know, it's crazy to me to think of that time of the internet. And then, you know, you had the apocalypse in 2016 when Google was cutting ad revenue, pulling ads from channels they felt they deemed unfit to run ads. And all of a sudden, you know, you had to make longer form content and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. It was a crazy time. Still, you know, the effects of it still echo throughout the corridors of YouTube headquarters because, you know, the adpocalypse forever changed the face of YouTube. And of course, you know, Gamergate was the start of really the anti SJW crap and people being pretentious intellectuals, I can't air quote hard enough. I wish I had knuckles controllers, but I don't. I'll air quote like this. Intellectuals, um, yeah, I have a Quest Pro, so I don't have finger tracking. Yet. Yet. The, yet. But it's just one of those things where you look at this stuff and you go, what the fuck am I watching? The fuck? Um, you know, that kind of deal. But you kind of just look back and you kind of cringe at some of the history of YouTube. You know, you go back to the very beginning, you cringe at the people trying to imitate Jackass in their backyard, and then they break their leg, and you're like, well, that was stupid. Why did you do that? You know, and then you fast forward to like the atheist stuff was kind of blowing up because it was at a time where like tensions were kind of high because like, you know, the it was a tense political time, like when Obama ran against Mitt Romney, who was like one of those religious nut jobs. The one that was the kind that's overzealous with their beliefs and kind of pushy about it. Um, you know, it was a tense time. A lot of people were just really tired of it and really tired of like, you know, the disparities displayed between like gays and stuff, like gay people, you know. Back then it was still not widely accepted. Um until, my god, you know, it wasn't legalized, like gay marriage wasn't legalized nationally until, well, 2015 when Obama signed it into law. And far be it from me to be a politics channel. I'm just talking about the history of YouTube and, you know, that's part of it. Atheist videos debunking like overzealous Christians was a big genre at the time. I mean, the Amazing Atheist like took off at one point. He was one of the biggest creators on YouTube. It was a trend for some time. The Bible Reloaded was really big. There was a lot of, you know, skeptic channels that came out that were like piggybacking off the trend. A lot of weird shit came out on YouTube because of the weird ways the trends work. And then, you know, prank channels came from that sort of algorithm fishing. You know what I mean? It was just piggybacking off the algorithm and trying to figure out what clicked, what got views, what got attention. And it was very interesting to see it evolve. And then Gamergate happened. So, like, a bunch of the skeptics. There was actually a divide in the skeptic community. It was a bit, well, I say community. There wasn't really any agreement between them to begin with. They all came from very different backgrounds. They just talked about the same thing. Being against like anti-gay bills or what have you. um, or like overzealous, like religious zealots being against that, stuff like that. And that was really the only thing they had in common, but, you know, their political opinions varied wildly between creator to creator. So it was inevitably the floor was inevitably going to collapse beneath them. And yeah, that exactly happened. The floor imploded beneath them and skeptic content fell off. And then, they were trying to apply that same skepticism and logic to, like social issues. And it's like, well, you can't paint it with the same brush you paint religious zealots. It's different. Um, you know, there are some disparities there. So it just became this weird dogmatic thing. And like I said, it was a trend. Because of Gamergate, and then 2016 when Trump got elected, it went off even more. Oh god, and then the SJW's owned compilations came out and all that crap. That cringy shit. Oh my word. I remember those days. I can, it's just so goofy now looking back at it, like how people just ate that shit up and it was a big thing for a while and everybody was like, yeah, you know, not everybody, but a large chunk. I mean, anti SJW videos used to get hundreds of thousands of views, if not millions sometimes. And, even PewDiePie jumped on the train and, did his joke video, and then the Wall Street Journal shit happened, and it was crazy. And like, okay, PewDiePie was making jokes, but at the same time, you kind of gotta look at it from the Wall Street Journal's point of view. They were a bit offensive. I mean, it's like back in the day, I think PewDiePie, because he came from a different era of YouTube when, making those kind of jokes was okay. I mean, because back in the day, YouTube did not give a shit if you said slurs. Like in the late 2000s, early 2010s, they didn't care. They didn't ever bat an eye at it. Oh, he said the N-word with a hard R. Whoops. It was different. It was a different environment back then. But I think PewDiePie got too used to that, and it's like, well, homie, we're not in that era anymore. It's over. You can't make those jokes anymore. Everybody's like, comedy is dead. Oh, comedy is dead. Oh, it's, yeah. Oh, God. And then the whole cancel culture thing became a big thing. And yeah. And it kind of died down a little bit though, around 2018, 2019. That kind of content kind of died out. Nobody really cared, and everybody was just kind of, getting back to normal. And then COVID happened. Oh boy. Oh boy. And yeah. Yeah. some people made COVID denialism videos and they got shit canned like straight away. Their channel got deleted and they got banned, hammered, and yeah. And anti-vaxxers and all that stuff. It's just, oh god. You know, COVID kind of made YouTube back into a staple because people didn't have as much to do. And, you know, new YouTubers kind of popped up and, you know, took off because of the pandemic, keeping everybody inside and lockdowns and yada yada. It was a very interesting time. But, you know, by that point, YouTube had like completely scrubbed the platform of like offensive shit. And like it could either get you demonetized or it could get you suspended or outright banned. You know, which, hey, you know, dem's the rules. What are you gonna do, right? YouTube as a platform kind of has the right to do that because it's their playground. You're on it. So, you know, you got to abide by their rules. Fair enough. It's just one of those things where I don't know. Would I like a freer form of content creation? I don't know. Because, you know, you have the Andrew Tates out there. Oh, God, that's another one that came as of recent. Incels and all that stuff. Oh, God. The cringiest parts of the internet. The internet is such a crazy animal. You see all kinds of things. I've been on it for, 21 years? Since I was a teenager? Maybe longer? I don't know. I've seen a lot. I've seen it all. It's crazy. You know, I've been around a long time. You know, I'm just starting to take off on Twitch. And like, I just, sometimes I don't know what to make of things. Like, what is this? Why is this a thing? You just look back at all the stuff that has happened on the internet that has become a trend, and you think, what the fuck? You know, of course, now everyone's a YouTuber, you know, because iPad came out in 2010, iPhone came out in 2007, and it birthed smartphones. Now everyone has a high-resolution camera in the palm of their hand. Everyone. Everyone has a camera these days. And all kinds of shit gets uploaded to YouTube. You know, Karen compilations, public freakouts, you know, sovereign citizens, God, just the list goes on. You know, it's crazy to me sometimes how, you know, how did we get here? The political divide. Oh God, political YouTube is good. Good. That's the only thing I can say about it. politics YouTube is just sheer, like, terminal cancer. Like, you know, I would probably prefer to have terminal cancer rather than watch political YouTube. Like, my God. It would be less painful. Because political YouTube is so fucking cringe. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. The takes are, ooh, ice cold. Or, like, just the stupidest thing you've ever heard. Like, what the hell is wrong with political YouTube? Like, y'all need therapy. Okay, go get therapy. Jesus Christ. A lot of the COVID conspiracy theorists went over to Facebook, you know, because they couldn't get away with it on YouTube. And Facebook just allowed it. Facebook, like Zuckerberg sitting there going, this is fine. No, what? What? Huh? Zuck, what are you doing? You know, the internet is such an odd yet interesting place, and yet it's one of the single greatest things that has ever existed, and at the same time one of the most cringe things that has ever existed. You see all kinds of things that you might not have known about before. You know, I had never heard of sovereign citizens before YouTube came into my life, and I'm like, what is a sovereign citizen? What the hell is that? Well, apparently, YouTube taught me it's a group of people who believe that the Constitution grants them the right to drive without a license. Although they call it traveling. Traveling. Huh? No? No? That's never been the case? What? No, you can't. You can't. There are laws against that. You have to have a license, registration, and insurance. And in some states, you have to have inspection. It depends state to state. Some states require them, others don't. Because they don't give a shit. They're just like, whatever. Just, you know. If it breaks down, just call a tow truck. You know. That kind of thing. But it varies from state to state. But in every state in the United States, you need a license, registration, and insurance. You have to have them. Have to. Can't drive without them. I mean, unless you want a ticket. Or to get arrested, potentially even. You can't do that shit. You know? And like, they believe some crazy shit, some crazy conspiracy theories. It's just, it's all insane. And then, you know, I remember back in like 2007, 2008, when we used to have animated music videos, right? Where we would take a scene from like our Naruto and put Linkin Park in the background. Because I'm one step closer to the edge and I'm about to break. You know, it was just... that was an especially cringy time on the internet. You know, like the Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, Full Metal Alchemist compilations with like cringy emo music or like, you know, Linkin Park or something in the background. Linkin Park is great. I love Linkin Park. Don't get me wrong. But when you're mixing it with anime clips, it's fucking cringe. My god. Bro. Um, it's an interesting little look into everything that has been on YouTube. Um, the political YouTube, religious YouTube, atheist YouTube, there's been all kinds of crazy shit. Um, and of course that time that we had like ISIS training videos on fucking YouTube, it was just insane. Ugh. The craziness of YouTube is, I cannot understate it. And then of course, Minecraft Let's Plays, the whole JonTron thing, it's just insanity. But there are also wholesome parts of YouTube, like Markiplier. Markiplier is one of the most wholesome content creators on the platform, has been for years, over a decade, really. And, props to him, because I feel like he's the last, like, one of the last few, like, normal people. And, like, tech channels are generally pretty chill people, except Linus, who, that's a whole controversy in and of itself. And, you gotta, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened there. I never really got into Linus's stuff. I watched a handful of his videos, and then I was just kind of like, meh. But Jay, I was more interested in people like, oh, I can't remember his name. I haven't watched him for a while. Jay's 2 Cents. Yeah, that's what it was. He was a good he's a good tech creator, and I always thought his content was pretty wholesome, pretty, entertaining and informative. There's a few other tech channels that I like MKBHD, Jerry Rig Everything, really good tech channels that I recommend. Jerry Rig Everything is kind of like the godfather of tech channels. And then you have, oh, who else? Trying to remember. There's another big one that was really interesting. Oh, Mr. Who's the Boss does some pretty interesting stuff. And, he has an entertaining way of doing it. Tech Racks destroying everything he owns. That's another one that's interesting. I used to love watching his videos because I would just be like, no, why would you do that to an iPhone, bro? Like, bro has some serious money to be doing that shit. Oh, man. Tech Racks is just one of those, eccentric people that, has a lot of money and can just trash shit, and like, he has to. There's no way bro is going out there buying all these iPhones and just like chucking them off a 50-story fucking roof, right? Like, brother, or the crazy shit he does with iPhones is just like, and Androids too. He does it with like every phone. He did it with Samsung's, iPhones, whatever, and Like, channels like that always amaze me because it's like, this dude is crazy, but he's entertaining as fuck. Okay, I'm interested. I'm sold. Fuck, I want to see more of this. Why? Why do I want to see the destruction of technology? Why does this interest me? I don't know. I guess I want to learn how durable it really is. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's crazy. It's wild. But that's YouTube in a nutshell. And now it just seems like YouTube anymore has become kind of a corporate rat race. You know, everybody's looking to get enough subscribers and shorts views so they can get partnered and monetized when it's like, I mean, I guess get that bread. I'm far be it from me to criticize them for that because, I'm on Twitch and, we rely on ad revenue over there and we rely on bit donations and subscriptions and turbo and donations through Coffee or Patreon or whatever the fuck you have. When I was there when Patreon first launched, I'm grandfathered in because I jumped on the platform as soon as it was created. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, God, Patreon is a decade old now. I jumped on it in 2014 as soon as it was created. But I didn't really have much there. I still kind of don't because I don't really I've almost abandoned it because I don't really know what I want to do with it. I mean, far be it from me to want to, take handouts. I'm just not that kind of person, and I don't like advertising my Patreon. I used to, because I was a broke college student who was struggling and I needed the money. So I heavily promoted it, and I used to do a ton of artwork because I'm an artist, and yeah, but that kind of slowed down after 2019. I just became less and less and less active, and 22 was kind of the death of like me doing art regularly because, well, I got into this VR chat. Yeah. So, but enough about Patreon. This is about YouTube. I'm just rambling at this point and going off the cuff. Like, I don't do editing, really, unless it's a really serious video, which this is just me rambling for, what, 20 minutes? I don't know. 40 minutes? Whatever the fuck it is. It's just me rambling and shooting the shit to a camera. This is what I do on Twitch. Yay! Content. Premium content. Yeah, nah. I don't really put my shit behind a paywall. I don't know. I mean, no shade on creators who do. Because, it's their livelihood. They'd probably do this as their career. And hey, props to them for it. If you can succeed with it, go for it. I see no reason not to. Far be it from me to judge people for trying to make money on the internet. I'm not gonna do that because it's just silly. It's silly. Um, you know, some people just do that. And you can do that now. In the modern age, it's quite easy. All you have to do is sign up, make a Google account, you got a YouTube, you can upload shit to it, boom, you're done. So, yeah. It's just one of those things where it is what it is. But this video was mainly meant to highlight that I don't know what the fuck to do with this channel. I'm kind of just here, but I do want to make videos. I just have to think about what I want to do with it. Do I just want to talk to a camera like I do in VR chat like I do on Twitch? Or do I want to do something more entertaining, more lighthearted? Or do I want to get serious about topics? Do I want to delve into my opinion? I don't know. I mean, that's a dangerous fucking thing on the internet. Delving into your opinion on things. But, for me, I don't really care what people think of me. Being that I used to be an internet troll, I kind of just brush it off, because nothing really bothers me. So it's just kind of like, okay. I mean, you think what you think, but, I'm not really going anywhere. So it's an interesting little thing, but, I tried to be non-controversial with opinions most of the time. I'm pretty milquetoast when it comes to my opinions. Just non-controversial shit, kind of like Markiplier, like how, sometimes he'll have opinions and he'll share them, and they're pretty non-controversial opinions. They're like stuff that, you wouldn't get you, like, canceled. So that's pretty much me. I don't really have any crazy opinions that would, like, get me canceled. It's just like, I think my most controversial opinion is that I think Apple products are just fine. Like, I use an iPhone and an Apple Watch, so, whatever. That's probably my most controversial opinion. And people, no, fuck you, Android's better. And it's like, okay, but I own a Samsung tablet. Like, I use everything. Okay, if it's a piece of tech and it works, I'm probably gonna use it, right? That's just how I am. I have a PC with Windows on it. I have an iPhone and an Apple Watch for communication. And I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 for when I want to draw on the go, right? So I have the best of all three worlds. I have it all. And I use them all. When I don't feel like, when I feel like I want a bigger screen to watch YouTube, I'll prop open the tablet and flip over the kickstand, and just watch YouTube on the tablet, because it's a 10-inch screen instead of my little 6-inch screen on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. When I don't feel like, texting people on my phone, I'll use my Apple Watch to send speech to text messages. Because I just, speak into the microphone and it translates it into text. Sometimes it'll make a typo and I can correct it. Not a big deal. It's one of those kind of things. Like, I can quickly look at a notification on my watch and, oh, hey, that's important. Better pick up my phone. Or, that's not important. It can wait. I'll just, glance at the notification, whatever. When I'm at home, I can pop out my tablet and flip the kickstand open from the case. Because I got the Samsung keyboard case, the fancy stuff. That's just how it is. I use technology for technology. I don't really care. Like, I'm not a programmer. I don't need to use solely Android and Linux. So, what's the point? Regardless, yeah. I don't know. I'm just finding my way, and this is a video that's going to be a ramble. This is my ramble video. There you go. That's an introduction to. I just thought it would be interesting to talk about the history of YouTube and how that pertains to, like, not knowing what to do on it. Because I don't know. Maybe I just want to do like a vlog channel where I talk about whatever the fuck comes into my mind and, just do it while in VR chat. Like, that's another thing that I enjoy. I could talk about all the stuff from VR chat too, and how it's one of the craziest things out there. It's changed my life for the better and kind of for the worse. It depends on how you look at it. It's VR chat is crazy, but I'll talk about that in another video. This is about my YouTube and what I want to do with it, what I plan to do with it. I'm not big on editing. I'm not big on the fancy stuff. I'm just here to, talk about things, I guess, because that's what I do on my Twitch, and people love it for whatever reason. So, who knows? Maybe it could work on YouTube. I don't know. I'm just here. I just exist in the internet space. I have for over 20 years. I'm just around. I'm like that person that lives their life online and is terminally online and just never gets off. Because that's the world we live in today. I mean, who isn't terminally online this day and age? You know what I'm saying? It's just true. You know it is. I know it is. Welcome to 2024. Welcome to reality. Everyone lives online anymore. Because the real world kind of sucks. It kind of sucks right now. You don't want to think about how inflation is going insane and, there's all this shit going on out there. And the internet is just kind of a way to escape it all. And that's, I avoid all the political shit. I try and stay as far away from it as humanly possible because it is just a reminder that the real world sucks. That it's just absolute garbage. So, the internet is my escape. It's where I come to relax and just be myself and just whatever, I like that. I like that I can do that. It's a fun thing for me to do. That's why I love streaming. That's why I do it so often. Twitch is in my blood, and it's something I really enjoy. And, I don't enjoy it just because it's successful, for me right now. If I only had, like, 5 or 10 viewers and but an active chat, hey, I'm happy. It doesn't take a lot to please me. It doesn't. It doesn't take a lot to, I seek out the community aspect of it. I'm not in it for the money. I mean, the money is nice, don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to say no to it. But it's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to get rich. I'm not here for the fame either. That's the thing. Some people are here for the clout. Some people are here for the money. Some people are here for both. I'm just kind of here. uh, to talk to people and to hang out, get to know more people, branch out, get myself out there, Life is too short, and you might as well enjoy it for however you can. This is how I do enjoy life. I get on the internet and I just talk to people and spend time with them. So, I like the company of others. It's just something that, um, unfortunately, just where I live, there's not many people I can talk to, and it's just kind of a bummer. When I lived in Pittsburgh, it was different. I had plenty of people to talk to, so I wasn't online all that much. A little bit, but, um, I just find that, it's easier to talk to people online. But that's probably just because I'm an introvert, and I hate talking to people in real life unless, we make, like, an immediate connection, which is hard for me, unless I really, really like somebody that I meet and they make a really good impression. You know, or if we're exposed to each other for a long time and I've gotten to know you and I say, hey, I kind of like this person, but that's usually just coworkers and, like, at my job, and yeah. So here we are. I'm on YouTube and Twitch now. Yay. But, I will upload some past clips from my Twitch and stuff like that. I do want to do that. And some highlights. I do want to do that. I think it would be really neat to upload those to YouTube as well. I might do highlight compilations from the channel here. But I'm not gonna make it my main content. I'm not gonna make it my only content. I'm gonna do longer vlogs. Sometimes maybe I'll do video essays. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. But, I'm not gonna talk on shit I don't know about. That's one thing I'm never gonna do. Like, because I just don't do that. That's not me. If I don't know about something, I'll shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because who wants to do that? Who wants to look like an idiot, spouting off at the mouth about something they know nothing about? That's why, I'm talking about the history of YouTube and the trends, because I've seen it. I was there. I've seen it all happen. But, I'm not an expert on things like, you know, well, a lot of things. So, you'll never hear me talk about psychology, because I don't know a fucking thing about it. I mean, okay, I know the very basics about it, because I did take psychology classes at a college level when I was in college. I did have to take psychology classes. I understand it on a very basic level, though. I am not a therapist. I never will be. And I didn't study it in school. I don't have a degree in it. My degree is in art, but we had to take some humanities. And psychology just happened to be one of those. So, I know a very basic amount. Like, I know about Freud and, basic psychological things, but I wouldn't ever dare pretend to be an expert on it. I would not dare to do that. Now, technology, yeah, I'm kind of an expert on that. I'm no developer. I don't code, but I know my hardware because, I got my certification in hardware repair 15 years ago. So I'm a certified technician. I know how to micro solder and all that shit. I know how to tear phones down and repair them. But, smartwatches and PCs, and I know how to build a PC, and I know how to, repair tablets and all kinds of stuff. But I'm not, about to become a tech channel either, though. Because, tech is great, and I love doing it. I love fixing it. But I'm not all about it. It's a hobby, I guess you could say, but I don't do it professionally. At least not as a career. I just like to tinker, But I would never, do that for YouTube, because that's kind of just something I feel like there's a ton of that out there already. And I would get lost in the shuffle. So, not gonna do that. Plus, those guys know how to make it more interesting, like Hugh Jeffries, right? He has a really interesting channel. I like Hugh Jeffries. I think he knows how to make it entertaining. Same with Jerry Rig Everything. He knows how to make teardowns entertaining and durability tests. It's interesting. Like Unbox Therapy knew how to make it interesting, and they started the whole Bengate thing, and I remember that whole thing, touch disease and all that stuff with the iPhone 6 Plus. Interesting times. But yeah, I suppose my little ramble should be wrapped up neatly in a bow, by me saying this is just me kind of vocalizing my ideas for what I could do, while also rambling and going off on a tangent about the history of YouTube, because it's interesting. This is the kind of stuff I would watch, but, some people might enjoy it. Other people probably will, Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Why is he here? I don't know. You tell me, and we'll both know. I'm just figuring out what I want to do with this channel. So, I guess I just wanted to make something to say, yeah, I'm still on this platform. I'm not dead. I'm just, more focused on Twitch and streaming than I am on video creation. Because really, people told me I should go into it. People told me, oh, you should do videos. You should do YouTube. I guess. I mean, okay, I can give it a shot. I'm more of a streamer than anything. But I guess, dipping my toes in the water isn't a bad thing, right? So, yeah. But I will see you in the next video. If you stick around, if you want to listen to me ramble and rant, or just talk about, the history of things. I don't know, maybe history of the internet and stuff like that might be interesting for me to delve into sometimes, and other things like it. Talk about the problems online and just all that kind of stuff. Because the internet is something I'm intimately familiar with and an expert on, because I've been on it for so fucking long that I could tell you everything about it almost. I've seen and done just about everything there is to do online. So, I mean, I've been here since 2003. That's when I started to really be active. But I've known about the internet since like 1998. So, you be the judge of how long I've actually been around. But it's a long time. I've seen it all. I've almost done it all. I've saw the rise of streaming and video creation and smartphones, and yeah, I've been here for all of it. It's interesting. Hell, I was around when flat screen TVs became a thing, because when I was growing up, we had the big box, the tube, with the little static on the screen. You don't have that on digital TVs these days. Not anymore. Used to be a thing. But now you just have the blue screen, and it's whatever. It's different. But, yeah. I think I'll wrap it up here. This is long enough. I've rambled for like an hour, maybe. And I've said really nothing. So I guess if you like that kind of content, hey, subscribe, I guess. I don't know. Up to you. I'm not going to be one of those channels that's like, comment, and subscribe. Nah. You hit the button if you hit the button. It's whatever. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually go anywhere on YouTube, but I guess we'll see. You never know. I didn't think I was going to take off on Twitch, and then I kind of did. So I'm like, well, shit, okay. That's unexpected. It just happened. It just happened. I don't know what to think of that, but hey, here we are. And people are telling me to get TikTok too. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I might try, but we'll see. So, I guess stick around if you want to see the future of the channel. Oh my god, I've been rambling for almost an hour and a half. Jesus. Well, whatever. I guess it's a long video about nothing. Watch if you please. Don't if you don't. I'll see you in the next one.